Hey class. Did you know that for the past couple decades, climate change has been one of the most controversial topics around the globe? Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, there is no doubt that this phenomenon has dramatically shaped our environment, wildlife, and the way that we go about our daily lives. Since 1990, temperatures have increased at a consistent rate, causing us to experience some of the hottest years on record to date. Areas of land have already disappeared from rising sea levels, and many wild and marine life species have become extinct as a result. After your understanding of what fossil fuels are, the effects that they have on the environment and wildlife, and cheaper alternative energy options that are already being practiced today, I guarantee that you will change your daily habits of releasing fossil fuels into the atmosphere. Now, in order for us to make a change, we need to understand exactly what greenhouse gases are and what causes the release of them. It all starts with fossil fuels. When fossil fuels such as oil and coals are burned by industry, power stations, vehicles, planes, etc., they release an unwanted byproduct known as carbon emissions. Carbon dioxide is an example of a carbon emission that is released and is also considered a greenhouse gas. The buildup of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere create a blanket around the planet where heat gets trapped inside, which has been the primary cause of the rising temperatures over the past couple decades. According to a website called Climate Fizz, trees are another example of human interference which releases carbon dioxide. The website states that companies are burning trees at a rapid rate to make room for farmland. The issue is that trees trap carbon dioxide, so when they're burned down, they release this carbon back into the atmosphere. Obviously, yes, this does happen in the United States, and we do play a major contribution to releasing CO2 emissions, around 15% to be exact, according to the website. However, we're not the only country that plays a role in this. India, Russia, Brazil, and Japan are following behind us as the next leading contributors, and China produces the most carbon emissions at 23%. Now, this is just one example of how clearly global warming is affecting and being affected by the entire planet. The encyclopedia article titled Global Warming by Michael Mann explains how increased temperature would result in the extinction of many species in the near future. A large fraction of plant and animal species are likely to be at an increased risk of extinction if global average surface temperatures rise another 1.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Although that temperature increase is not very large, especially over the course of 100 years, this would lead to major changes in the food webs within ecosystems and shifts in the seasonal migration patterns of birds, fishes, and other animals. Michael Mann also goes on to say that in high latitude ecosystems, changes in the seasonal patterns of sea ice threaten predators such as polar bears and walruses. Both species rely on broken sea ice for their hunting activities. On land, rising temperatures and changes in precipitation patterns and drought frequencies are likely to alter patterns of disturbance by fires and pests. It is obvious that the dramatic environmental change in these areas of land are pushing extinction closer and closer to reality for many of these species. The resources that these animals need to survive are becoming scarce, and if we don't make a change soon, we will begin to see a dramatic decrease in fish, birds, and mammals all across the globe. Now, it may or may not come to you as a surprise, but some people either do not believe in climate change or do not think that climate change is a threat to our civilization or the environment. Now, one reason they believe this is that carbon emissions are beneficial to plants and vegetation. The idea is that plants need carbon to survive, so the more carbon dioxide, the more plant growth, which will provide more food and oxygen for humans. According to Craig Idso, head of the Center for Carbon Dioxide and Global Change, he states that increased crop yields caused by CO2 could create an economic boost of $10 trillion by 2050. The other argument is the opportunity to subsidize carbon dioxide emissions, which is the belief that there are no costs to burning carbon dioxide, and therefore, if we subsidize now, we will be saving money in the future. While these are strong arguments, America and other countries have already taken steps towards cheaper alternative energy options that would be more beneficial for the environment than burning carbon dioxide. Agriculture and farming play a huge role in trying to reduce carbon emissions and has been one of the main focuses in taking the first steps towards a cleaner atmosphere. Some of these practices include farmers improving operating efficiency or adopting farming techniques that use less fuel, such as no-till, which reduces their fossil fuel-based greenhouse gas emissions. While reducing on-farm fuel use can improve farm profitability and reduce carbon emissions, however, the potential impact on overall greenhouse gas emissions is relatively low because fossil fuel use by the agriculture is a small portion of total U.S. fuel consumption. Now, while farmers and generators are doing their part to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we are still going to need more action and initiative if we are going to save our planet. Now that you understand what greenhouse gases are, the effects that they have on the environment and wildlife, and cheaper alternative energy options that are already being practiced today, I hope that you have found the motivation to go out and make a difference yourself. Simple things like using less heat and air conditioning, driving less and driving smart, using energy efficient products, using the off switch, or even planting a tree are few of the many changes that you can make in your daily life. These steps will take you a long way toward reducing your energy use and saving you money. Less energy use means less dependence on the fossil fuels that create greenhouse gases and contribute to global warming. Thank you so much for watching.